Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the relatively uncommon normal-type Pokemon Aipom and its relatively rare evolution Ambipom, the two collectively known as the Long Tail Pokémon. Childish and curious to a fault sometimes, the members of the Aipom family are interesting mammals that can be a lot of fun to work with if you can figure out their best tactics for yourself.
Aipom have small, purple-furred bodies with beige two-toed feet and digiless front arms, with beige interior flesh in their oval-shaped ears and a small tuft of hair on the top of their head, beige flesh encircling their grayish-blue eyes and wide, grinning mouth. Their tail has an unusually large, round, fleshy bulb at the end, with 3 prehensile digits attached to it that allows Aipom to use their tails in the place of a hand. Their evolved form Ambipom have purple fur covering almost their entire body, save for their belly, face, and the ends of their tails, with a purple, downturned nose, a 2-part sprig of purple fur on their head, divided fur on their forehead, and red interiors to their ears. Instead of just one, these creatures have 2 tails on their body, with purple sprigs of hair near their base, and red tips to the 3 prehensile digits on each appendage, allowing for greater manipulation of their environment and others. Aipom and Ambipom are unique creatures because they possess prehensile tails that have effectively evolved to take the place of their forelimbs. The exact reasoning behind this strange modification is still an intense mystery, but it's quite likely that the alteration was originally developed to allow Aipom and Ambipom to reach high-growing fruits, such as bananas, without placing themselves at risk for falling. Unlike other primates, neither of these two creatures show any evidence of ever having much in the way of dexterity in their digits, possibly explaining why they have to rely on their tails instead. Over time, this exceptional reliance seems to have caused them to gradually evolve and develop tails that are just as dexterous as a human hand. Unfortunately, this has also had the effect of causing degeneration within their forelimbs, reducing them to little more than single-digit vestiges with no real purpose. In terms of survival, this places Aipom and Ambipom in a somewhat ironic state. Since they rely on their tails for locomotion and basically every other daily function, they have become far more dexterous than most other monkeys. On the other hand, the degeneration of their actual forelimbs makes it difficult for Aipom to do much with their clumsy forelimbs while suspended from an object, preventing them from physically doing anything without moving and placing themselves in the view of predators, a problem that Ambipom thankfully do not have to worry about as much because of their twin tails. This at least partially explains why fully evolved Ambipom are far less common than their pre-evolved form in the wild, as relatively few Aipom manage to live long enough to make it to evolution. In regards to their overall combat attributes, these beasts tend to be quite handy when it comes to looking around for materials and can thus have pickup as a base ability. Plus, those that are good at using their multiple limbs to strike repeatedly with great precision can also gain access to Skill Link as a hidden ability. But there is a bit of a difference between Aipom and Ambipom with their alternate base abilities.
While Aipom are quite skittish and can use their tails to make a quick getaway, possessing Runaway as a base ability, Ambipom are better adapted to staying in a fight and using their natural body forms to magnify the power of their basic attacks, getting access instead to the Technician ability as a base ability.
As far as the stats are concerned, in looking at Ambipom, while these creatures are able to hit decently hard and fast with their attacks, possessing above average base attack and speed stats for a fully evolved normal type Pokemon, the rest of their forms are lacking quite a bit, all of the other base stats being below average for a fully evolved Pokemon of their type, and thus may force trainers to rely on unconventional tactics to make the most of them in a fight. Despite their small size, Aipom are strong enough to easily lift themselves with their dexterous tails, and even move with them, swinging from tree branch to tree branch without much difficulty as they move to and from their nests high in the treetops. If they need to leap from one spot to another multiple times though, Aipom will usually switch to using their feet as they provide faster locomotion, but will still use their tails as balancing rods to maintain the equilibrium. Aipom have even been known to use their tails as portable stools, lifting themselves off of the ground and maintaining such a state for several hours at a time. While a cute trick to many, this feat also places Aipom at risk in battle, as they have little to keep them grounded if hit by a powerful physical blow.
At night, Aipom will usually wrap their tails around a branch to ensure that they don't fall out of the tree during the night, since their forelimbs are all but useless.
In terms of personality, Aipom are generally quite friendly and freely approach humans in the wild, though usually only for a few moments. While they don't have the strength needed to do much damage in battle, their demeanor is usually more than enough to make them valuable partners for trainers that are just getting started on their journey. The only creatures that they are a serious threat to are Bound Sweet, as the creatures enjoy the tasty plant as a favorite snack in the Alola region, climbing to the tops of trees and excitedly pouncing upon one the moment they catch sight of it.
While Aipom were believed to have been able to naturally evolve into Ambipom in the past, the adaptation of their tail as a primary source of locomotion and function all around has triggered a mutation within their DNA that prevents them from evolving until they learn the double hit attack. In doing so, however, the mutation spawns a notably different form after evolution that, due to the mechanics of the attack, grants Ambipom 2 tails.
While they are no longer as acrobatic as their pre-evolved form, Ambipom are far more powerful and are capable of attacking with their 2 tails consecutively in a rapid fashion, explaining the newfound access to a dual chop attack, making it extremely difficult for unarmored opponents to resist the blows and counterattack. The addition of an extra tail offers many benefits to Ambipom outside of combat, the chief of which being an expanded diet. Since they now have 2 dexterous limbs, Ambipom are able to crack open harder food items like nuts and shuck them with little difficulty. While this means that Ambipom literally have no use for their forelimbs anymore, they will still use them in emergency situations, particularly when they need multiple limbs to pry open especially hard nuts and berries. Unlike Aipom, which tend to live alone or in small groups, Ambipom are known to live and work in exceptionally large colonies among large trees, though their searches for comfortable homes can oftentimes result in territorial disputes between them and Pokemon like Passimian, of which they only win about half the time. Communication between Ambipom is almost always done through connecting their tails together in a ring, allowing weak electrical impulses from their bodies to flow into one another as a way of sharing their emotional states within the blink of an eye. It has been noticed, though, that certain Ambipom will only link tails with a select group of peers, indicating that the sharing of personal information, such as the aforementioned emotional states, is a sign of friendship and that there is a complex societal relationship among Ambipom colonies that is yet to be properly studied. Likewise, Ambipom tend to avoid close contact with people that they are unfamiliar with, but it is a surefire sign that they like you if they wrap their 2 tails around your body and lightly squeeze you.
While they might be a bit of a shame to some, there is no doubt that Aipom and Ambipom are fun creatures to be around and can give a lot of help to those looking for a bit of a quirky teammate to play around with. They have notable speed and decent power to them, but sadly this is usually not enough to really measure up to much tougher opponents. Even so, their lack of battle proficiency doesn't take away from how enjoyable it can be to be around them. Playing around in trees, swinging from place to place, playing handball games of all sorts, these monkeys really have it all under their belt, and once they evolve, it's 2 times the fun for the same price. It is noted that they can indeed be quite the cheeky creatures and enjoy playing pranks when they feel it's worth it, so they can be a barrel of laughs if you don't mind being the victim of said pranks on more than one occasion. It might take quite a bit of effort to get them to a fully evolved state for what they can offer, but these beasts can be friends to all if the right cards are played, and in turn are worth the investment if you need a good friend for hugs and the like.
Quirky to a fault, and about as unusual as monkeys of their stature could probably be, the members of the Aipom family are nonetheless useful and fun friends to work with if you're just looking for some light competition. It might take a while before they can get into a full evolved state and can make the most of the moves they learn naturally, but you can still make do with them with a bit of artificial help if available.
Just do yourself a favor and make sure that you play nice with them and don't get too cheeky with them, as they might do more than just give it back when they give you a hard slap to the face for trying to mess with them.
Thank you all for watching this video. It is always a pleasure to help teach others about the world of Pokemon and the many facets of it that exist in both the world we call home and the world they call home. If you'd like, please leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell to this channel to get regular updates on content and anything else that might be going on. You can find me and my written work on DeviantArt under the name Untitled, and be informed of information and content uploads on my Twitter page and my Patreon page. Donations are always welcome. Always remember, the world of Pokemon is a vast and varied place, and there's no telling what secrets might be hiding just around the corner. So keep watch, stay vigilant, and always prepare for the unexpected. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.